It's 4:20 p.m. Saturday afternoon here at the Howling Moon Studios in Northern California. I hope you've had a really good week, and I will tell you I have, and I'm very excited to play today. It's been, the last couple of weeks been incredibly eventful musically, and we'll talk about that as the show goes on. I'm going to start off with a song by Alison Krauss that is my favorite of hers. Steel rails, chasing sunshine round the bend, winding through the trees like a ribbon in the wind. I don't mind not knowing what lies down the track, 'cause I'm looking out ahead to keep my mind from turning back. It's not the first time I found myself alone at dawn. If I really had you once, I'd have you when I'm gone. Whistle blowing, blowing lonesome in my mind, calling me along that never-ending metal line. Steel rails, chasing sunshine round the bend, winding through the trees like a ribbon on the wind. I don't mind not knowing what lies round the track, 'cause I'm looking out ahead to keep my mind from turning back. Sun is shining through that open boxcar door, calling me away to that thing I've known before. I've lost count of the hours, days and times, just the rhythm of the rails keeps the motion in my mind. Steel rails, chasing sunshine round the bend, winding through the trees like a ribbon in the wind. I don't mind not knowing what lies down the track, 'cause I'm looking out ahead to keep my mind from turning back. 'Cause I'm looking out ahead to keep my mind from turning back. I want to send this one out, as I always do, to Tracy Sheridan. Southern Cross shines distant, a beacon in the night, constellations burning, beckoning light. Trouble above, darkness falls, Orion is broken, the eagle is lost. Raining down to the ground, stars fall from the sky. Life is changed, rearranged in the blink of an eye. Mountains of rain reflect the pain. We hear the swirling of the wind. Clouds of tears, undiminished by the years, haunting us over and over again. some in the wind. How many times we start over again? The slate looks clean, but underneath the chalk remembers so beneath. Empty the clouds, some in the wind. How many times can we start over again? Orion is back in the southern sky. Prophets know the eagle will fly. Southern Cross shines closer, a beacon in the night. Constellations burning, beckoning bright. Raining down to the ground, stars fall from the sky. Life is changed, rearranged in the blink of an eye. Raining down to the ground, stars fall from the sky. Life is changed, rearranged in the blink of an eye. In the blink of an eye. All right, Tracy, I'm sending you well wishes right now and hoping that each day gets a little bit better until you're all the way better. It's a long and dusty road, it's hot and heavy load. Folks I meet ain't always kind. Some are bad, some are good, some done the best they could. Some have tried to ease my troubling mind, and I can't help but wonder where I'm bound, where I'm bound. Can't help but wonder where I'm bound. Well, I'm traveling through this land, just doing the best I can, trying to find what I was meant to do. And the people that I see look as worried as can be, and it looks like they're wandering too. Oh, and I can't help but wonder where I'm bound, where I'm bound. Can't help but wonder where I'm bound. Well, I had a little girl one time, she had lips like sherry wine, and I loved her so my head just went insane. I was too blind to see she was drifting away from me. That good gal's riding off on the morning train, and I can't help but wonder where I'm bound, where I'm bound. Can't help but wonder where I'm bound. Had me a buddy back home, and she started out to roam. Here she's out by the Frisco Bay. Well, sometimes when I've had a few, her old voice comes ringing through. I'm going out to see her for someday. And I can't help but wonder where I'm bound, or where I'm bound. Can't help but wonder where I'm bound. If you see me passing by, and you sit and you wonder why, and you wish you were around bro too. Now your shoes to the kitchen floor, lace them up and bar the door. Thank your stars for the roof that's over you. And I can't help but wonder where I'm bound, or where I'm bound. Can't help but wonder where I'm bound. And I can't help but wonder where I'm bound, where I'm bound. Can't help but wonder where I'm bound.
A really good friend of mine gave me a gift this week that it just means a ton to me. He gave me a absolutely mint condition poster from the Rolling Thunder Review. And if you don't know about the Rolling Thunder Review, this was a Bob Dylan, Joan Baez, Bobby Newworth, Ramblin' Jack Elliott, T-Bone Burnett joint from 1975. I think maybe 75 and 76, but the first tour is what this poster is from, and that was the really, really magical one. And it was, in fact, a review. I mean, it was this incredible collection of friends playing basically Dylan material. Some of them did their own stuff too, but it was unlike anything I've ever seen from a live perspective, and it made a really big impression on me. And I like posters, and to have one of the ones from then is a very cool thing. Anyway, so I got Bob on my mind.
You walk in the room, a pencil in your hand. You see somebody naked. You say, who is that man? You try so hard, but you don't understand. What you gonna say when you get home? But something is happening here. You don't know what it is, do you, Mr. Jones? You raise up your hand. You say, is this where it is? Somebody points to you and says it's his. You say, what's mine? Someone else says, well, where it is? And you say, oh my God, am I here all alone? Something is happening here. Don't know what it is, do you, Mr. Jones? You hand in your ticket to go see the geek, who immediately walks up to you when he hears you speak. He says, how does it feel to be such a freak? You say, impossible, as he hands you a bone. Something is happening here. You don't know what it is, do you, Mr. Jones? You have many contacts among the lumberjacks who get you facts when someone attacks your imagination. But nobody has any respect. Anyway, they already expect you to give your check to some tax-deductible charity organization. You've been with professors, they all liked your looks. With great lawyers you have discussed lepers and crooks. You've been through all of F. Scott Fitzgerald's books. You're very well read, it's well known. Something is happening here and you don't know what it is, do you, Mr. Jones? The sword swallower, he comes up to you and he kneels. He crosses himself and clicks his high heels. Without further notice, he asks you, how does it feel? He says, here is your throat back, thanks for the loan. Something is happening here and you don't know what it is, do you, Mr. Jones? You see the one-eyed midget shouting the word now. You say for what reason, and he says how. You say, what does this mean? And he screams back, you're a cow. Give me some milk or else go home. Something is happening here, you don't know what it is, do you, Mr. Jones? You walk into the room like a camel, then you frown. With your eyes in your pocket, your nose on the ground. There ought to be a law against you coming around. You should be made to be wearing a telephone. Something is happening here, you don't know what it is, do you, Mr. Jones? Someone told me long ago, there's a calm before the storm. I know it's been coming for some time. When it's over, so they say, it'll rain on a sunny day. I know, shining down like a water. Know, have you ever seen the rain? I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? Coming down on a sunny day. Yesterday and days before, sun is cold and rain is hard. I know, been that way for all my time, till forever all that goes through the circle fast and slow. I know it won't stop, I wonder. I wanna know, have you ever seen the
So last time I did this, I had somebody described it as a podcast at the end, where I was kind of talking about the world and what was going on. And apparently I mumbled, and I feel terrible about that. So I'm going to try when I'm on mic to speak clearer, more slowly, and with more volume. Because apparently I speak much more quietly than I sing. Patrick and I should probably figure out a thing so when I talk he's got a little boost button, but we haven't got that yet. But Patrick is a magician, and so I know he can do anything. But that one's really on me. I've really got to learn how to do that myself. So I've said that it's been a really interesting couple of weeks musically. And it really started a week ago Thursday. I went to see our really good friends Midnight North were playing nearby me. And, I remember when they were playing at the bar at Terrapin Crossroads. And actually, I guess it started before that because I went to the Terrapin Crossroads outdoor show. And I guess that was since we last got together this way. So the Lesh brothers, Graham and Brian, organized the first of what I think is going to be a continuing series of Sunday afternoon outdoor shows. This one was in a park in San Rafael. And it was a park I wasn't even aware of, right on San Francisco Bay. I mean, it was as beautiful as you could possibly imagine. There's nice flat plain by the water, which is the park tennis courts, and then this huge field, which is where the gig was. And then right next to it is maybe 100-foot tall, cliff/hill with redwood trees and other kinds of trees on it. It's just a stunning vista. And they sold 2,500 tickets to this event. And it was magical. I mean, it was 3 bands of Terrapin alumni, finishing with the Terrapin All-Stars. Phil Lesh came out and played. And the whole experience was pure magic. I mean, the weather was perfect. The setting was perfect. All of the logistics were perfect. And then the music was incredible. And on top of that, it was a gazillion people who'd all been part of the sort of extended Terrapin family, all gathering on a Sunday afternoon. And, it was just fantastic. And then on Thursday, 4 days later, I went to see Midnight North, and I hadn't seen them play in a while, and it was just fantastic also. I mean, they're such a good band, and I remember them, literally from when they started. And if you haven't seen them lately, definitely do whatever you can to do it. And the cool thing is that the Terrapin Crossroads thing, this is not a one-off. They're going to do one on August 27th in Novato at Stafford Lake. And we're going to be part of that one. It'll be Moonalice, Melvin Seals with JGB, and then the Terrapin All-Stars. And I really want to encourage you to come to that because it's these folks really, it's in their blood. They really know how to produce a great event. And we're just so fired up that we're going to be part of one. Anyway, I'm going to continue with my, because the weather's so good here, I'm going to continue with my rain theme just because, it's getting dry and we have to worry about wildfires and we're going to need some rain. When the storm clouds build, then lightning strikes, thunder shakes your core. The feeling lasts for days and days, exactly like before. Every time the same, every time the pain. The time has come in from the rain. Each time the storms roll in,
you fear you cannot cope. It may be just exhaustion, or it may be loss of hope. Every time the same, every time the pain. The time has come in from the rain. Come in from the rain and dry yourself. Lighten up your load. Enjoy a little comfort before you get back on the road. If you always seek perfection, you may miss the joy that's hiding all around, waiting to be found, waiting to be found by you. Every time I find you standing in a storm, I want to help you come inside, build a fire to keep you warm. Every time the same, every time the pain. The time has come in from the rain. Come in from the rain and dry yourself. Lighten up your load. Enjoy a little comfort before you get back on the road. If you always chase perfection, you may miss the joy that's hiding out around, waiting to be found, waiting to be found by you. We can break the chain, put away your pain. The time has come in. The time has come in. The time has come in from the rain. Went to see a wise old woman to ask her what to do. She said, there's only one thing works for me, but it might just work for you. Take a couple of puffs, yes, couple of puffs, that's just enough. Yes, couple of puffs. No matter what, no matter when, on cannabis you can depend to make each moment happy as can be. Take a couple of puffs. A couple of puffs when I wake up starts my day out right. A couple more with breakfast helps my appetite. A couple of puffs before I face the world makes the sunshine bright. I'm so glad to be alive. Won't you share my life? Take a couple of puffs. Yes, couple of puffs. That's just enough. Yes, couple of puffs. No matter what, no matter when, on cannabis you can depend to make each happy as can be. Take a couple of puffs, a couple of puffs with the one I love, like fine champagne from France. A couple of puffs with my doctor and the guy who feeds the plants. A couple of puffs with the policeman, he's cool, he'll take a chance. He's so glad to be alive. 2 puffs, then pass, then dance. Take a couple of puffs, yes, a couple of puffs, that's just enough. Yes, a couple of puffs. No matter what, no matter when, on cannabis you can depend to make each moment happy as can be. Take a couple of puffs. Everyone should take a couple of puffs along the way. Better yet, a couple of puffs several times each day. A couple of puffs in Washington would fix things pretty fast. A couple of puffs on Wall Street so the bad guys finish last. A couple of puffs for all the folks who'd benefit from grass. We're so glad to be alive. Take 2 puffs, then pass. Take a couple of puffs. Yes, a couple of puffs. Oh, that's just enough. Yes, a couple of puffs. And no matter what, no matter when, on cannabis you can depend to make each moment happy as can be. No matter what, no matter when, on cannabis you can depend to make each moment happy as can be.
So you probably saw that Tony Bennett died yesterday, and you know, you really want to dig into his story because Tony Bennett was one of those people who, you know, he would surprise you. You look at him, you think to yourself, well, he must be kind of like a mainstream white person's entertainer. But his history is actually really different than that. His initial break, believe it or not, was provided by Pearl Bailey. And he was really, I mean, that's how he got started. And once he got that first opportunity, he obviously made a lot of it. But he never forgot where he came from and, you know, was a really important figure in the civil rights movement. I mean, really tightly aligned with all the key players and was at a lot of the things that really, you know, you kind of had to be committed to be at. And, you know, I was lucky enough to see him a couple times, and I mean, he was an amazing entertainer. But from all I could tell, he was a really great human being. And I just want to wish him well. And I want to send out my condolences and best wishes to everyone in his family, because let's face it, the guy was really a hero. And anyway, I got a song for that, as you know.
I heard there was a magic chord that Elvis played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? Goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty and the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to your kitchen chair, she broke your throne, cut your hair from your lips, she drew the hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Baby, I've been here before. I know this room and I've walked the floor. You know I lived alone before I knew you. I seen your flag on the marble arch. Love is not a victory march, it's a cold, it's a broken hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Say I took the name in vain, I don't even know the name, and if I did, well really, what's it to you? There's a blaze of light in every word, it doesn't matter which you heard, the holy or the broken hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. I did my best, it wasn't much. I couldn't feel, so I tried to touch. I told the truth, I didn't mean to fool ya. And even though it all went wrong, I kneel before the Lord of song with nothing on my tongue but hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
So I may do another little podcast at the end of this live stream. And the point is, I'm going to put it at the end, so if you just want to hear the music, you can just log off, and I'll tell you when I'm starting. There's some crap that's going on right now that's just driving me crazy, and I don't want to wreck the music by talking about it in the middle. But if you're interested, it'll be there. Instead, we're going to do something fun. You ready?
What a day for a daydream. What a day for a daydreaming boy. I'm lost in a daydream. dreaming about my bundle of joy. And even if I am standing by my side, it's one of those days for taking a walk outside and blowing the day to take a walk in the sun and fall on my face in somebody's new mud yawn. I've been having a sweet dream. I've been dreaming since I woke up today. It's starring me in my sweet dream. 'Cause she's the one that makes me feel this way. And even if time has passed me by a lot, I couldn't care less about the dues you say I've got. Tomorrow I'll pay the dues for dropping my load, fall on my face from licking the sleepy bull toad. Do 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 do. 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 And you can be sure that if you're feeling right, your daydream will last long into the night. Tomorrow at breakfast you may prick up your ears, or you may be daydreaming for 1,000 years. What a day for a daydream, custom made for a daydreaming boy. I'm lost in a daydream, a dream about my bundle of joy. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. What a day for a daydream, custom made for a daydreaming boy. I'm lost in a daydream, a dream about my bundle of joy.
So anyway, after the show I went to with Midnight North, Ann and I went to all 3 nights of Dead and Company at Oracle Park here in San Francisco, which were the final 3 shows of the Dead and Company tour, not just for this year, but in theory for all time. The door's been left open for like individual shows, but you know, they organized this whole tour with the notion that this would be it on the kind of annual tours, you know, that John Mayer was going to get a chance to, for the first time in 7 years, do a summer of his stuff. And Bobby would be focused on Wolf Brothers, and, you know, who knows what everybody else is going to do. I mean, I think Oteil has his band and all. But I think that this tour, for whatever reason, left everybody wanting more. And these 3 shows were just a complete proof point of that. You know, I don't think of the Grateful Dead as having been a sentimental band. I mean, when Brent died, I mean, I think it was like a month later, they were doing gigs with Vince. And, you know, it wasn't like they had a mourning period, or if they did, it was, you know, a couple of days. You know, and so I think about them as having been a not terribly sentimental band, but this whole thing was really organized around the fans. I mean, probably for them too, but it was an incredibly generous structure. You know, the set lists were very carefully crafted, and you know, the 3rd night they had this amazing drone light show, which apparently they'd had a version of it in Boulder. But this one had more to it than the one in Boulder, and it was really spectacular. And, you know, the whole thing was just this giant reunion of wonderful friends. And, you know, when music brings people together that way and, you know, gives you a chance to really connect with people you love and don't get to see that much, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And this thing did that to a T. And it finished in a really cool way. It finished with a triple encore. I'd never seen the Dead do a triple encore before. And this song here was the first part of it. And honest to God, I don't think I've ever played this song on my own before, and I haven't played it with anybody in at least 20 years. So if I screw this up, I apologize in advance. But I thought it was so much fun, I thought I would try it. Trucking, I got my chips cashed in, keep trucking like the doodah mine. Together, more or less in line, we just keep trucking on, yeah. Arizona on the flashing monkeys on the main street, Chicago, New York, Detroit, it's on the same street. Your typical city involving a typical daydream. Hang it up, see what tomorrow brings. Dallas, you got the soft machine. Houston, too close to New Orleans. New York, it's got the ways and means, but just won't let you be. No, no, no. Most of the catch you meet in the street because true love, but most of the time they're sitting and crying at home. Well, one of these days they know they're gonna get going. Out of the door, run to the street alone. Trucking like the doodah man once told me you got to play your hand. Sometimes the cards ain't worth a dime if you don't lay 'em down. Yeah. Sometimes the light's all shining on me. Other times I can barely see. Lately it occurs to me what a long, strange trip it's been. What the world ever became a sweet Jane. She lost her spark, you know she's the same. Living on rinse, vitamin C and cocaine. All his friend can say is ain't a shame. Trucking up to Buffalo, I've been thinking you got to mellow slow. You take time, you pick a place to go, and then you get trucking on. Yeah. Sitting and staring out of the hotel window. Got a tip, they're gonna come kick the door again. I like to get some sleep before we travel. You're gonna wanna guess you're gonna come in. Busted down the Bourbon Street, set up like a bowling pin. Knocked down, it gets to wearing thin. They just won't let you be. No, no, no. You're sick of hanging around and you want to travel. You're tired of traveling and you want to settle down. I guess you can't revoke yourself for trying. Get out of the door and let it look around. Sometimes the light's all shining on me. Other times I can barely see. Lately it occurs to what long, strange trip it's been. Trucking, I'm going home. Oh, oh, baby, back where I belong. Back home, sit down and patch my bones and get back trucking on. Yeah, get back trucking on. Get back trucking on. Get back trucking on. Get back trucking on.
If I had a flower for every time I thought of you, I could walk forever through my garden and dream one day you'll love me. I hope it will come true. I could beg your hand and not your pardon. Acre upon acre of yellow, red, and blue. See flowers nurtured by my hand. Never could my garden be as sweet as you, though it blooms with every fragrance known to man. If I had a flower for every time I thought of you, I could walk forever through my garden and dream one day you'll love me and hope it will come true, that I could beg your hand and not your pardon. Roses for each time you laugh set my heart ablaze. An orchid for each time you say my name. Poppies, pansies, daffodils, all are in the game. I'll be planting seeds and flower, dreaming by the hour of love that's sure to last for all my days. If I had a flower for every time I thought of you, I could walk forever through my garden, dream one day you'll love me and hope it will come true, that I could beg your hand and not your pardon, and dream one day you'll love me and hope it will come true, that I could beg your hand and not your pardon.
So yesterday, we finally got all of Moonalice together on stage for the first time, I think since, well, first time since April. And, you know, we've had a pretty bad bout of COVID, which has really, you know, been a huge problem. And, but we did more than just bring the whole band together. We also had all the babies there for the very first time, or this group of babies. Chloe was there with Freya, who is now 10 days old, well, 11 today. I mean, she's 10% older than she was yesterday. And, you know, so Chloe had both of her children, and then Erica had both of her kids, and Mookie had his daughter, and Barry had his granddaughter, grandson, who is 10 months old. So, I mean, we were basically running a nursery school there. It was great. And it's really fun when little kids grow up in a rock and roll environment because, you know, they're super chill about it. And, you know, they've all got their big hearing protector things. But it was really fun to have them there. And it was really fun to play again. It was very warm. It was in, I don't know, I think the mid-90s in Nevada. But we were in the shade, thank goodness, and so it was just incredibly fun. And this was the first gig where Essence Goldman played with us because the T-Moms are not coming to Alaska, so Essence is joining the band to sing with Rachel and Mookie for the Alaska shows, And so this was Essence's first gig, and so it was really, the whole thing worked out really, really, really well. So if you feel like it, go and check out the video on Moonalice.com. It really was a fun time.
Say the truth will set you free, so I pack my bags and grab the keys. And now I'm asking, baby, please, may I follow you across the sea, sailing to the island of you, hoping that there's room there for two. It may be far away, but if you let me in, I'll stay until the end of time. I'll be true. I got lost and missed the boat. I'll take any ride that floats. I'll sail blind without a chart, 'cause I know the way by heart. Sailing to the island of you, hoping that there's room there for two. It may be far away, if you let me in, I'll stay until the end of time. I'll be true. Alone at night, I dream that you will let me in your life. When I'm feeling lucky, I dream you'll be my wife. Sailing to the island of you, hoping that there's room there for two. It may be far away, but if you let me in, I'll stay until the end of time. I'll be true. It may be far away, but if you let me in, I'll stay until the end of time. I'll be true.
Actually, this next song, I'm psyched to play it in part because, I was mentioning the Rolling Thunder Review. And this was a pretty new song when the Rolling Thunder Review happened. I forget when Blood on the Tracks came out, but I'm guessing 74, maybe. Could have been 73, but, I think of that as being Dylan's. I mean, there's so many epics of Dylan, right? They typically come in 3 album sets, and but this was absolutely one of them. And this song was my favorite on Blood on the Tracks.
Sat together in the park as the evening sky grew dark. She looked at him and he felt a spark tingle through his bones. Then he felt alone, a wish that he'd gone straight watched out for a simple twist of fate. They walked along by the whole canal, a little confused, I remember well. They stopped into a strange hotel with a neon burning bright. He felt the heat of the night hit him like a freight train, moving with a simple twist of fate. A saxophone someplace far off place. She was walking by the arcade. A light burst through a beat up shade where he was waking up. She dropped the corn in the cup of another blind man at the gate. Forgot about his simple twist of fate. He woke up, the room was bare. He didn't see her anywhere. He told himself that he did not care. He pushed the window open wide. He felt an emptiness inside to which he just could not relate, brought on by a simple twist of fate. He hears the ticking of the clocks, walks along with a parrot that talks, hunts it down by the waterfront docks where the sailors all come in. Maybe she'll pick him out again. How long must he wait? One more time for a simple twist of fate. People tell me that it's a sin to know and feel too much within. I still believe that she was my twin, but I lost the ring. She was born in the spring, but I was born too late. Blame it on a simple twist of fate. Blame it on a simple twist of fate. Blame it on a simple twist of fate. Wake up, mama, turn your lamp down low. Wake up, mama, turn your lamp down low. Well, you ain't got no love, turn Uncle John from your door. When I woke up this morning, I had them Statesboro blues. When I woke up this morning, I had them Statesboro blues. When I look over in the corner, well, Uncle John had them too. Oh, well, my mama died and left me, Papa died and left me. I ain't good looking, baby, but someone sweet and kind. Well, I'm going home to the country. Do you want to go? If you can't make it, baby, your sister Lucia said she'd go. When I love that woman better than any woman I've ever seen. better than any woman I've ever seen. Well, she treats me like a king and I treat her like a gosh darn queen. Wake up, mama, turn your lamp down low. Wake up, mama, turn your lamp down low. Well, you ain't got no love, turn Uncle John from your door. Well, you ain't got no love, turn Uncle John from your door. I was watching a documentary this morning, which you've probably all seen. It was brought out a couple years ago about Laurel Canyon. So it's a two-part TV thing that was really brilliantly done about Laurel Canyon. And it's got a really cool section about Lowell George. Made me think I should play this song. Seen the bright lights of Memphis and the Commodore Hotel. Underneath the street line, I met a Southern belle where she took me to the river. That's why she cast a spell. And on that southern moonlight, she sang the song so well. If you'll be my Dixie chicken, well, I'll be your Tennessee line. We can walk together down in Dixieland, down in Dixieland. We met all the hot spots. My money flowed like wine till the low-down southern whiskey began to fog my mind. Well, I don't remember church bells, the money I put down on the white picket fence and boardwalk, the house at the edge of town. Oh, but boy, do I remember the strains of her refrain, the nights we spent together and the way she called my name. If you'll be my Dixie chicken, I'll be your Tennessee lamb. We can walk together down in Dixieland, Dixieland. Been many years since you ran away. The guitar player sure could play. She always liked to sing along. She's always handy with a song. Well, one night down in the lobby of Commodore Hotel, I chanced to meet a bartender who said he knew her well. Well, and handed me a drink, began to hum a song, and all the boys there at the bar began to sing along. If you'll be my Dixie chicken, I'll be your Tennessee lamb. We can walk together down in Dixieland. If you'll be my Dixie chicken, I'll be your Tennessee lamb. We can walk together down in Dixieland, down in Dixieland.
This one's for Patrick. There's a man who leads a life of danger. Everyone he meets, he stays a stranger. With every move he makes, another chance he takes, odds are he won't live to see tomorrow. Secret agent mine, secret agent mine, they're giving you a number, taking away your name. Beware those pretty faces you may find. A pretty face can't hide an evil mind. Be careful what you say, or you give yourself away. Odds are you won't live to see tomorrow. Secret agent mine, secret agent mine, they're giving you a number, taking away your name. Swinging on the Riviera one day, they're laying in a Bombay alley the next day. Oh, don't let the wrong words slip while you kiss persuasive lips. The odds are you won't live to see tomorrow. Secret agent mine, secret agent mine, they're giving you a number, taking away your name. So thank you for watching. I just want to let you know what's going on. Next week, we're going to Alaska for 10 days. Those shows will not be broadcast, so we're going to be dark for basically the next 2 weeks. But if you're going to be in Alaska, we're going to be at the Southeast State Fair in Haines, and then we'll be playing in Talkeetna. And after Talkeetna, we'll be going down to the Salmon Fest, which is basically the Kenai Peninsula State Fair. So 2 shows each at the Southeast Fair and at the Kenai Fair, Salmon Fest, and then 1 show in Talkeetna. We're coming back, and then the first gig we have after we get back is at the Oakland Coliseum. We're playing before an Oakland A's game. It requires a special ticket. I don't think it's that expensive. We'd really appreciate if you come. We get to play an hour set, and we're playing it in the plaza between the Coliseum and the basketball arena. And there'll be all kinds of fun stuff that you'll get if you come for that. It's a Jerry Garcia celebration. And because we're going to miss the Giants this year, we're doing the A's. But that's also spiritually correct because it's really important to, go to the game and chant, sell the team and stuff like that because it's really important that we keep the A's in Oakland. And, there's a small chance that'll work. Not huge, but there's still some chance. So we're all going to be part of that. Then after that, the 27th of August, we're going to be at the Terrapin Crossroads Sunday. I don't know what they're calling it, but that festival, which will be with Melvin Seals and JGP, but also with the Terrapin All-Star Band. Then we've just announced 2 gigs for Labor Day weekend. On the Friday night, we're going to be indoors at the Chapel in San Francisco. We will have the Great Light Show from Mad Alchemy. And then on the 2nd, we're going to be in Felton at the Felton Music Hall, so down in Santa Cruz County for our first gig in a while. So we're super excited about that. What happens after that, there's a bunch of things coming. We're going to be playing a show in November at the Guild, which is this incredible new theater in Menlo Park. And we're going to have a gig at the Golden Gate Bandshell. Those dates those are all to be announced, but those are also coming. So it's not going to be a heavy schedule, but it's going to be all basically Bay Area. And we hope you'll all come out and join us. Also, I want to make sure you're aware we just put out the acoustic version of Old and Proud as a streaming release yesterday. That's available wherever you stream. We're really proud of it. The acoustic one has just such a great vibe. And, we're really excited about all the acoustic music we've been playing, but right now we're alternating electric releases with acoustic. And you won't even believe what's coming next. It'll be really cool. So that's all that's the musical part of the program. I'm now going to spend a few minutes talking about what's going on in the world where I've been doing activism. So you probably know that I have been trying to raise the alarm about generative AI, things like ChatGPT. Google's part of this, Microsoft's part of this, Meta is part of this, Apple's trying to get into it. There are a lot of things about that just look really scammy. And I think the reasons are pretty obvious, that this is a category where the cost of creating an AI depends on the scale of the data that you trained it on. So let's say you were trying to do something for drug discovery or for gene sequencing. You want to do a highly curated data set of just the stuff about that. So highly focused. And that is a relatively cost-effective thing to do. And it does produce some interesting leads in those two areas. But that's not what OpenAI is trying to do with ChatGPT. That is not what Microsoft's trying to do. That's not what Google's trying to do. That's not what the other guys are trying to do. They're trying to build a monopoly. And in order to do it, they want to boil the ocean. They want to have the largest AI out there by a mile. Because their explicit goal is to have a monopoly. Now, here's what the problem is. When you're doing it at that scale, it costs roughly $500 million just for the processors that take all the data and turn it into a training set for the AI, or process the training set. Now, they could go out and license all that, but that would cost hundreds of millions of dollars more. And in the tech industry, they don't believe in paying people for the stuff they created. They believe in something called permissionless innovation, which is one of those Orwellian terms. The basic notion is they're going to create something that is proprietary to them, but in order to build it, they're going to steal your stuff. And so essentially, the data that these things are built on is everything they can scrape off the internet. And that includes your personal information from wherever it exists in the open internet. And it includes just gobs of copyrighted material. And they have pretended like that's no big deal. Now, if you have been reading the paper lately, you've probably noticed that the Writers Guild of America has now been joined by the Screen Actors Guild in a big strike against studios and distributors. And one of the things that is a bone of contention is the studio's plan to use these generative AIs to essentially convert the job of being a writer from something that's associated with intellectual property to work for hire. They're basically just trying to squeeze the talent. And they think this is going to work. But there's some problems with this idea. And the most important problem with it is generative AI, at least today, sucks. I mean, there is real evidence that over time, the answers that it gives get worse and worse. And a thing got leaked from Google that kind of gives the game away. Google instructed the tens of thousands of humans who are essentially inspecting the data as it goes into the training set. It basically told them, don't worry about accuracy. You're supposed to go in there and find porn, and you're supposed to go in there and find the very short list of prohibited items. But hey, if it's not true, we don't care. And so what you're doing is you have a garbage in, garbage out problem. That, they're inhaling all the stuff from sites on the web that do make no effort to validate the accuracy of the content. And so the training set is full of all this garbage. And the notion is somehow you're going to make scripts or you're going to make other things from this that are valuable? Or are you going to use it in a search engine? That's Microsoft's strategy. I mean, it's crazy because in a search engine, it gives these things are known to hallucinate because what they aren't actually giving you answers. What they're trying to do, and this is really so dystopian. They're basically creating bullshit engines that they craft answers that appear to be authentic, right? These things are like, whoever that was the best bullshitter in your college group of people, they're trying to recreate that. They're trying to create something that sounds authoritative. That's the goal. And, you put that into a search engine and you're going to get this very authoritative answer that is wrong a huge percentage of the time and may over time get more and more wrong because they're training this stuff. And one of the things that they're training it on is the output of these AIs, which are so full of errors that as you ingest them into the training set, they make the training set worse. So all of this is out there, right? And the thing is, because it's so expensive, it matters what the cost of capital is. And until a year ago, the cost of capital was basically zero. And then interest rates, because of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, interest rates went from 0 to 5% for T-bills, which means investors will naturally have a much shorter time horizon. They'll have much higher expectations for things. So if your thing costs $500 million just for the processors, it's going to be harder to come by that money. So I think what they did was they decided they were going to use their immense marketing talents to create the illusion that this technology is inevitable. That, this thing may be imperfect, but, there's no way to stop it. In fact, they even went so far as to get some of their friends to come out and say, oh my God, it's not only unstoppable, eventually it's going to kill us all, right? It's going to turn out to be like the computer in 2001, which is utter nonsense. I mean, we're not on a path to that. I mean, maybe someday, but not from this stuff. This isn't about that. And all of that is designed to create the illusion that it's inevitable so that people adopt it immediately, right? They go, if it's inevitable, it's important to get an early start. And corporations, which are also affected by 5% interest rates, because corporations have gotten used to getting their stock to go up by buying stock back each quarter, borrowing money at 0%, buying stock back, shrinking their base so that a given number of dollars of earnings create more earnings per share. And that has been going on for 15 years. And now it's basically over. And so all these corporations are looking for something new. And the thing that happens to be lying around that's caught people's fancy is generative AI. And I just look at this thing and I go, you have got to be kidding me. I mean, there's so many things wrong with this scenario. The first thing is the computer science itself looks to be deeply flawed. In many ways, it bears an uncanny resemblance to crypto, right? Intense processing power, huge energy waste to produce this stuff, a cost structure that is prohibitively high, and no obvious, actually valuable use case, right? They've just said to everybody, trust us, this is going to be incredibly valuable. But here's the problem. These guys actually believe that humanity is a bug and that AI is actually better than humans. And, you've got Zuckerberg and Elon Musk challenging each other to a cage match, and in one case, a measuring contest relative to intimate body parts. And I sit here and I go, how in God's name, after all this time, are we letting these people set the agenda for the country? How is it that Congress holds hearings and takes these people seriously? How is it that the White House just had a meeting this week and they didn't have any of the people who have been explaining what's wrong with this stuff in the meeting? They just had people who are proponents. I mean, how do we get here? I mean, we are 7 years past the 2016 election. There's literally no excuse for trusting Silicon Valley with democracy, public health, or public safety. I mean, they've been allowed to self-regulate, and they've done a horrible job. And we're a year and 4 months away from the next presidential election, and all of the internet platforms have unwound the bare minimum protections they had against disinformation. A Republican judge has said that the government can't talk to internet platforms about disinformation. And now ChatGPT and Google Bard and the other things in this category are just dumping disinformation out into the atmosphere. And our government and corporate CEOs are pretending like this is okay. This is normal. And I'm sitting here going, you have got to be kidding. I mean, I'm sure everybody means well, but to me, it just seems incredibly obvious that we ought to be saying, no, I'm sorry, you cannot. I mean, let's just run a quick list of what's wrong from a government point of view with allowing the generative AI guys to run amok. First, they're stealing your personal information without your permission, without your awareness, and using it in ways you have no control over. They're stealing copyrighted material from creative people all over the economy. Right? You see any of these picture generating things or video generating things or music generating things, that's all based on stuff they've stolen. I mean, there are a couple of guys who say they've got stuff that's not stolen, but the big stuff is all based on things that were just scraped. And here comes the third problem. These platforms know exactly what query you ask, and they have control over what answer they give you. Now imagine if you're the U.S. government. Imagine the national security risk that comes from using these products. Right? I mean, remember, Elon Musk at Twitter, right? He's made very clear what his political priorities are. Meta has made very clear their political priorities. They're not neutral. And, you know, I don't know the politics of the open AI guys, but I know who their investors are, and their investors' politics are very clearly aligned with one side. And I look at all this stuff and I go, I mean, there's literally, you know, Congress bought 40 licenses to OpenAI. I'm sitting there going, are you guys insane? I mean, when does common sense stick its head up? All of this I find mystifying. And what's really weird, here's what's really weird. 5% interest rates are going to kill off the business model that almost everybody's been using to do startups in Silicon Valley. You know, so if you think back to, well, basically back to the gig economy companies. So Uber, Lyft, Airbnb, DoorDash, Grubhub, all those guys. And then crypto, and then WeWork, self-driving cars, the metaverse, and now AI. All these things required billions of dollars of capital, and none of them have ever made a penny of profit. None of them, no matter how big they get. Because their strategy is to become these global monopolies. And if there's any competition, nobody ever makes any money. Well, that works when interest rates are 0. But when interest rates are 5%, you can't play that game anymore. And I think that's why everybody's jumped on board all these AI products, because there's nothing else that's going to get as far as these guys have gotten with a strategy big enough to include, in theory, the whole economy. But remember, this is not something that benefits everybody. The asymmetries are staggering. These are products designed to benefit the wealthy at the expense of literally everybody else. And it just shouldn't be that way. But, you know, I've been at this for 7 years, and for whatever reason, I have not been successful at getting this message through to people. So I apologize for venting, but it's right at the surface, and it's healthy for me to get it out. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for listening. There will not be a show the next 2 weeks. After that, I think there will be a show in August, and we'll see you then. I hope you'll check our calendar and come to as many shows as you can, because music business is really hard right now, and you know it's important that we draw well so we can get into bigger rooms that actually cover our costs. And we'd really appreciate your help if you can do that. And one of the things you can do is, if you have a streaming service, listen to our stuff a lot. And if you don't have a streaming service, try one. Anyway, take really good care of yourselves, and remember to love each other. Just remember to take care of each other, because there's a lot of weird people out in the world right now. And all we have is each other. If we stay close and we do what the Terrapin folks are doing, which is to create opportunities for the community to come together, we're going to be okay, in spite of all the tech guys. Anyway, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in a few weeks. Bye-bye.